So, Fadi, those were some of the ways to go about building up a project portfolio strategically. So, being prepared for it, not predicting, of course. Now, we talked about the project management community or the project management professionals, and they have a lot to do with projects, obviously. Now, how can, in the creation of such a strategic portfolio, how can project management professionals make a difference? And by project management professionals, I mean project managers, program managers, portfolio managers, maybe change managers, maybe also other roles. How can they make a difference, Fadi?
Excellent question, because eventually they are the teams who deliver the value. Talked about the lens where the CXOs, the senior executives, they fulfill conditions for value creation, but the party that delivers the value are the parties you mentioned, from portfolio to program to project to change managers. So as a top prerequisite, these P3P managers, they have to be able to understand the business and the management aspects of what they do. It happens many times that companies have excellent construction management or excellent technical and or engineering managers, and they want to promote them. They want to give them more. So what they do, they promote them to be a project manager or to be project director, without helping them in understanding the business and management landscapes that the project or director will navigate through. Because as you know, management in general is navigation through difficulties so that you can produce value using your resources to deliver value. And to do that, you have to navigate through hell of things, okay? The known unknowns, the unknowns, and the things that we mentioned.
Yes.
So they get promoted, and they have total right to get promoted because they are good people, they are good professionals. But they are promoted to a position where, one, they might not be having the natural skills to navigate those business and management landscapes. Second, they do have them, but they need to refine them. They need to improve them. And when they get on the helm of a project director or manager on a mega project, they still deal with it as if they are dealing with their functional department. I don't want to always say this example that construction managers, let's say, one example, they are measured on how much concrete, for example, they pour, how much cut and fill they've done. And they've done excellent job there. When they got promoted to a project manager, their thinking still resides there. How much concrete we poured, how much cut and fill we did. But a project manager or a portfolio or a program manager need to think in a different lens, using different lenses. They need to understand.
It's exactly a different lens. It's not thinking like a different person necessarily, but
a different lens. Exact, different lens. So I've seen project directors of mega projects who don't care about stakeholder management or communication management or risk management. Other people will take care of that, they say.
Yeah.
Although this is their main job. This is what they are supposed to do. Manage the risk of the project, not from a risk register that was done during the commercial times, but through a real-time risk register. And we mentioned at the beginning that, I'm not sure if we talked about it, we, as a CXOs, they need to deal with real-time strategic management. It's real-time. They have to have dynamic capabilities to deal with real-time strategic management. The same thing with 3P projects. They need to do real-time management, not in terms of technical things that they used to have, and it is, of course, real-time, but in terms of how our project supposed to deliver with a different circle than the functional. How we need to deal with the business realities, with the management realities that go beyond the technical realm.
And of course, there should be no excuse for being unaware of your job responsibilities.
Of course. But now, although it's not about who to blame whom, but just an explanation. First of all, you cannot promote someone as a captain of a ship if you don't train them on what captainhood means.
Yes.
Second, you as someone who got promoted, you don't have to shy from saying, listen, I don't know, I need to learn. And you have to have this
important.
You have to have this responsibility. You have to be responsible towards yourself, your team, your company, your client. If you don't know something, or if what you are about to handle is more than what you do, what happens? If it happens many times. So those who cannot handle things, they start blaming others.
There is also the need for much more self-awareness in those positions.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not about promoting an excellent construction manager. If you do promote an excellent construction manager, you will lose an excellent construction manager, and you will get yourself a bad project manager.
You might get yourself.
Yeah.
Not guaranteed, but of course, we want to make sure we get the best every time we promote.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. I agree. So this is the first prerequisite, is that for the project professionals to help in the strategy making of the organization, they need to be in the right caliber of business and management leaders. Second, the AEC company must have a project management methodology that can be tailored to the project type, size, duration, client complexity. Each project, many times it's a unique project, but there are certain types of projects, and they need to have a specific project management methodology. Also, some clients require different type of project management methodology, not type, but different setup. So the company needs to have at least a skeleton, a framework to manage its project based on, as we said, type, size, duration, client complexity.
I really think it's good. It's quite thorough. I mean, obviously, project management professionals can make a difference. It's the how that we've just covered, it's not an easy area.
No, it's not. It is project management, or the AEC industry, is one of the most complex industries out there, and it is one of the most complex in terms of technical things and financial things as well, and stakeholder management things. So all kinds of complexities go into this industry by all means.
And just on that point, Fadi, I think that many people new to the area of project management should be looking into this area as maybe case studies, because when we think about doing a project, of course, building a house, building a building, that's the first thing that classically comes to mind. Mm-hmm. And it is, of course, by necessity, it's waterfall. It's classic project management. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's simple in its concept, but it's very, very difficult and complex, as you just said.
Exactly. This waterfall paradigm is a skeleton that we need to fill it up with beef.
Yes.
And the beef can come in different shapes, forms, and sizes and colors. So this is exactly why project professionals can make a difference by becoming preparedness builders. We're talking about construction, right? They have to build preparedness within themselves, within their teams. And when they want to make a difference within their organizations, it's not their job to replace the C-suite, but by improving decision quality and operational discipline across the corporate project bridge. Now, this is where we say how they can make a difference. The C-suite must tap on the experience of the good project professionals, because it's them who have hands-on. And this hands-on is what gives the proper capabilities to the organizations to go and get more work. Okay? So how to do that? They can help in building clarity to the portfolio conversation. For example, they can bring into the discussion to the table a structured set of questions that executives must not dodge, for example. And we somehow visited those questions at the beginning of the discussion. What are we saying yes and no to, and why? What is the risk on a specific project? Do we have the capacity and key roles? We mentioned that. We mentioned those. Does the contract model match our capability? Because also the project directors, managers know the capability of the people. They are dealing with them day in, day out. They know what kind of capability exists within this project. But as you will see later, we need to take this and build an organization-wide capability. Project managers or directors know the capability within one entity of an organization. And this one entity is one specific project. Second, they can help in translating strategy into working rules. Many times strategy is vague, but project leaders can define the minimum decision threshold, like simply what margins we can and we must have, what kind of risk. We mentioned that client maturity, how good we know the client, how bad we know the client. It's always important to bring a project director who has dealt with the specific client that we are pricing for. Okay, as long as there is a good relationship between the two. And also, we mentioned about partnering arrangements, governance requirements. Again, as you see that those are already discussed when we talk about the project, the corporate system. So project directors, managers can add more value to that discussion when they are involved in, again, with the prerequisite that those managers have the sound business and management skill set and thinking. They can protect we talked about capacity. Yeah, we don't have to talk about again. There is the stage gates, for example. Project management is all about stage gates. We have the theoretical stage gates, right? And we have what's actually happening in the meeting rooms when the stage gates are discussed. And theory there is rarely aligned with what's happening in practice. So those project managers can bring in insights of such discussions, and they can build systems around those discussions. And AI can definitely help in getting information for project managers, directors of what's happening inside the stage gate review rooms, and try to build governance or governance preparedness around that. So again, those project managers or directors, they have hands-on experience. And one of the most important things a company does is to tap on this hands-on experience. Also,
this is sorry, Fadi, this is the famous lessons learned that come out of the project-based system that you mentioned earlier on, and they feed into the corporate-based system.
Exactly. And I cannot stress more on how important lessons learned are. And it shouldn't be an exercise every 6 months, as I've seen, or every month. Or every year. I've seen every 6 months or every year. No. Lessons learned is a real-time dynamic thing. You got something to learn, immediately put it into the register. It's not like waiting until we forgot about the details, because it's the details in lessons learned that
the devil is in the details.
Exactly.
Fadi, thanks for your answers on those questions. I think everyone's got a good, deep, yet wide view of how this all pieces together. Strategic Preparedness. I hope everyone's enjoyed this. I would like you just, while we're here, Fadi, if there's a final thought you'd like to leave us with to just sum it all up, I'd be very grateful.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity, Richard. And this is my final thought. Strategy is tough, is difficult, but we can learn it. We can train ourselves to be strategic thinkers, to be enablers as well, to build strategic thinking within the organization. It's not something difficult, but without the strategic thinking, no company can survive. Even if we think that it's doing well for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, eventually, without a proper strategy, without the strategic preparedness that you need to build within organizations, after some time, it will crumble because you are not basing it on strong foundations. And the strongest foundation is to have continuous, dynamic, real-time, strategic conversations within your team. Don't let it to be one weekend retreat. No, make it every day thinking within what you do as CXO. Is your job to plan for the future of the organization. And the vehicle for that is strategic thinking, strategic management, strategic conversation within your team so that you all agree on how to move forward.
I think those are very wise words, Fadi. Thank you again.
Thank you, Richard.
For everyone listening, I hope you enjoyed it. I will put some links into the podcast notes. If you want to continue the conversation with Fadi or myself, please get in touch. But bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. I'll be back soon with more stories from the front line of change and transformation.